Welcome everyone to this October 1st, first day of October webinar, welcoming our new users. This episode, we are going to be talking about the Teacher Conference Scheduler. My name is Rachel Cox. I am on the support to training team here at JMC. I've been with JMC for about 2.5 years. I come to JMC after spending time about almost 15 years in the college classroom, and then I was an administrator at a pre-K through 6 Catholic school, and now I'm happy to be here training with JMC. And today I'm joined by Jody Schott. Jody, would you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Jody Schott, and I live up in the Brainerd Lakes area. And prior to coming to JMC, I was an office manager at a charter school in Cross Lake for about 22 years. And I've been with JMC about the same amount of time as Rachel.
Thanks, Jody. So we're going to learn about taking the stress out of scheduling conferences. Building a strong school-home connection starts with meaningful conversations. JMC's Teacher Conference Scheduler makes it easy for families to sign up for conference times that work for them, and just as easy for teachers and office staff to manage schedules. Today, we'll walk through how to set up conference dates, assign time slots, communicate with families, and track signups so your conferences run smoothly from start to finish. If you have any questions as we are going through the material today, go ahead and put them in the Q&A feature in Ring Central, and we will address those questions at the end of each section of this webinar. We're going to start with setting conference events, dates, and times. The Teacher Conference Scheduler helps teachers and families work together to book meetings that fit everyone's schedule. In JMC Office, start by entering conference dates, setting meeting durations, and enabling scheduling, creating clear, effective communication between teachers and families. Well, let's configure conference settings by logging into JMC Office and going to Teacher Conference Scheduler Settings. Step 1, click the Add New button to create a new date and time range for your conferences, or click the Edit button to update an existing conference schedule. And this is kind of a new feature, a new update here in our Teacher Conference Scheduler, and we'll go into that a little bit more detail when we take that live look. Helpful tip, if you need to remove a conference date, you can click the Delete button to remove a conference date and time from your conferences list. Fun fact, conference dates and times can only be edited or deleted if no conference appointments have been scheduled. If you set those out as live and allow families to sign up, if someone has signed up for a conference day and time, then you can't delete it. So I'll show you what that looks like again when we get to that live look. Step 2, select a name from the conference name drop-down list to link the conference date to an existing event, or enter a new name to create a new event such as Semester 2 conferences. Step 3, enter a date in the conference date field, or click the calendar icon to select a day for your conference event. Step 4, enter a date in the course term date field to determine which courses are available for conference scheduling based on their start and end dates. Fun fact, to schedule conferences for a term that's already ended, enter a date within that term so past term courses appear for scheduling. Step 5, enter a start time and end time in the appropriate fields to define the length of your conference day, or click the clock icons to select those times. And step 6, enter the length of each conference time slot in the appointment length field to set the number of minutes for each conference. Step 7, click the update button to create a parent-teacher conference date, or click the cancel button to discard the changes. And then step 8 is just to repeat those steps so that you add each day that exists within a particular conference event. Step 9, then you're going to click the Teachers tab. So we were at the Conferences tab over here. Now we're on the Teachers tab. This allows you to view the teachers who are available for conferences. And fun fact, all JMC courses appear on teacher conference schedules by default, giving families the opportunity to sign up for conferences for any course on a student schedule. To exclude a course from teacher conferences, remove the checkmark from the Include in Teacher Conference Schedules checkbox on the Edit Course Data page. And again, we can take a look at that in just a minute. Step 10, remove the checkmark from the Conferences checkbox to make a teacher unavailable for conferences. Fun fact, all teachers with a yes in the has course and or is advisor columns will be available for conferences in JMC Family. Step 11, select the closed, open, or locked radio buttons from the family access box to set the Teacher Conference Scheduler availability in JMC Office. So this is, I'm sorry, in JMC Family. This is what I was talking about just a second ago. So family access, if you have this clicked at closed, it means that families can't see conference times. And I highly recommend, as you're setting up those conference events, those days, the times, etc., keep this closed, because you don't want families to start signing up until you know for sure that you have those dates set. And then once you feel confident, you have the right days, you have the right number of time slots, then you can move this to open, and that allows families to go into JMC Family, sign up for the days and times that work best for them. And then if you communicate with your families, like conference appointments can be signed up from October 1st to October 10th. After October 10th, you can go in here and click this locked button. And that just helps teachers have some security in knowing, okay, this is going to be my conference schedule. Families can no longer go in and change up those appointments. And this is exactly what I was just talking about. Select that locked option before the scheduled conference to prevent families from making those last minute changes. Step 12, when the open radio button is selected in the family access box, return to the conferences tab and click email families to notify them that it's time to sign up for conferences. Helpful tip, a pop-up will display lists of families who were emailed and those who were not, which will help you confirm that your conference dates are clearly communicated. Fun fact, if a family is already signed up for conferences, the email will remind them of their scheduled times instead of prompting them to sign up. So let's take a live look at setting conference events, dates, and times. All right, so I'm going to log into JMC Office here. And from my home screen, I am going to come down to Teacher Conference Scheduler. I'm going to go to Settings. And this is where I first set up those dates and times. And now you can see that I already have a few conference events in here. I've got Meet the Teacher Night that happened on September 11th and 12th. And then I've got fall conferences set up for October 16th and October 17th. I could add a new conference event. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to click this Add New button. And what it allows me to do is I can enter in a brand new conference name. So if I wanted to put like maybe trimester 2 conferences or something in here, I can. The other thing I can do is I can still select fall conferences. So maybe I want this to be the 15th, 16th, and 17th. So I'm going to select fall conferences. So I'm going to add another day to the existing event. So I'm going to click on my calendar icon here for the conference date. So I already have the 15th, or sorry, I already have the 16th and the 17th. I'm going to add the 15th to this conference event and the course term date. So again, like I was just saying, this will determine which courses your family see when they log into JMC Family. So if you're having semester 1 conferences, or maybe even midterm conferences, and this is the date that those courses would all show up at, you can just put that date in there. But let's say we are at the end of trimester 1 has already ended, but we still want to have conferences for how that trimester went. Then you want to pick a date in the past so that the term that previously ended are the courses that families will see when they go in to sign up for conferences. So I'm just going to go ahead and select a course term date. I'm going to pick the 17th here, and then start time. When are they going to start? These ones are maybe going to start at 4 p.m. and the end date of this conference window will be 8 p.m. Appointment time is going to be 10 minutes each. So then I'm going to go ahead and click update, and you can see here now my fall conferences have 3 dates under that overall conference event. From here, I'm going to go over to my teachers tab, and this is where I can see that all of the teachers that I have, I can see if they have a course, if they are an advisor, which would automatically check this box. So someone has come in here and manually unchecked for that teacher. But if you have a teacher who is, maybe out on maternity leave, or maybe not all of your specials participate in conference, this is where you would come in and just uncheck that checkbox, which would then remove them from the conference sign-up list. The other thing that I can show you here is if I go to Schedules, Course, Edit Course Data, I'm going to open it in a new tab. And if I select a course here, you'll see that you have this include in teacher conference schedules checkbox. So if you don't want this course to show up as a course that's available for families to sign up for conferences, you can always just uncheck that right here. So if you uncheck that, save it, then this course won't show up. But by default, whenever you create a new course in JMC, that checkbox is checked. Okay, so I'm going to come back to my conferences here, and you can see my family access window right now is open. So in JMC Family, my families would be able to sign up for any of these upcoming conference dates. So until I had that completely finalized, I would want to keep this as closed so that families aren't making appointments as I'm still trying to finalize my conference schedule. So when I hit open, families can then start signing up, and you'll notice what changed here. So I'll click on closed again. And then once I hit open, I have this option right here to email families. So if I click on email families, it lets me know the families who were not emailed. And of course, this is just a demonstration database, so we don't have valid emails in there. Yours would probably be very much the opposite. Most of your families would go through, and then anybody who didn't have an email address in JMC would not be emailed. Let's see, and then you'll want to make sure that you lock that family access when you want that registration window for conferences to close. So I think that about covers the setting up of the conference dates and times. Jody, do we have any questions?
We do not have any questions.
All right. So as I was saying, this naming your conference event is a new update in JMC Office, and I really think that it's great. It allows you to see those groupings of conference dates. The other thing that I mentioned when we were looking through the steps is that you can't make changes to conference dates and times once a family has made appointments. So you can see right here, appointments exist. So it doesn't allow me to edit. It doesn't allow me to delete. So highly recommend keeping this closed until you're sure you have your dates and times exactly how you want them. Because I have worked with schools in the past, they're like, oh no, I wasn't quite done, or oh, I had the wrong times in there. Now people have signed up and I can't change it. So you want to make sure to keep that family access closed so that you've got the right dates, times, the duration and everything, so that you don't have this problem where you can't edit something that needs editing. All right. Well, if there are not any questions, then we will move on to talk about managing conference appointments in JMC Teacher. Save time and stay in control of your calendar with the Teacher Conference Scheduler in JMC Teacher. Once your office sets the conference dates and times, you can manage your availability, adjust time slots, block breaks, and communicate with families all in one place. It's a simple way to streamline scheduling and make conference prep a breeze. So to get started, log into JMC Teacher and head to Teacher Conference Scheduler. Step 1, select a date from the conference day drop-down list to view and edit scheduled conferences for that date. Step 2, select a parent and student from the parent-student drop-down list in a time slot to schedule a conference, or select blocked off to reserve the time for a break. Fun fact, as families book their conferences in the JMC Family Portal, the parent-student drop-down will automatically populate for you. Helpful tip, need to override an appointment? Just use that parent-student drop-down list to select a different conference attendee. Step 3, select a location from the room drop-down list to indicate where the conference will take place. Step 4, enter any notes in the comments field to remind attendees of key topics for the conference. And fun fact, want to add some personality to your conference comments? You can use any of these formatting tools here in this text box, including links to just kind of draw attention to certain notes or comments that you want to make for parents. Step 5, click the Save Comments button to save your conference notes. And step 6, click the Print button to print a copy of your conference schedule for quick reference. Step 7, click the Email Families button to send appointment reminders, including the conference date and time, the teacher, the room, student, and any notes from the comments section to all the scheduled families. And step 8, place a check mark in the Parent Attend checkbox if the family attends the conference to help track attendance. So let's take a live look at managing conference appointments in JMC Teacher. So I'm going to log into JMC Teacher here. And I'm going to select Teacher Conference Scheduler. And we use the Teacher Conference Scheduler at the school that I was at, and I really loved this tool. I think it's great, and I believe that our teachers appreciated the customizability that they had for their conference schedule. I think it's a great idea for office staff to let teachers kind of go in and have first stab at those conference dates and times. If they know there's some families that they might want to have maybe back-to-back appointments with, maybe they just need a little bit more time for that conference, or to allow those teachers who are also parents and have their own students in the building and want to make sure that they block off the time to go to their students' conferences, or they want to be able to block off time for when they need a meal break. So this gives teachers that flexibility, and it allows everything to be communicated right in JMC without having like the hassle of emailing back and forth and sending home different appointment slips and all that kind of stuff. So the first step is that a teacher would pick the particular date. So I'm going to see if I've got any appointments made here. I do. Okay. So as parents or families go into the JMC family portal and they start making their appointments, it's automatically going to populate here for teachers. So teachers can go in and select families that they want to have at a particular day and time. But as families sign up on their own, they will see the family, the parents' names, and then student name. And then here, this is what it looks like when you block off a time. So whether this teacher is going to a different conference, is blocking off time for a break, they can choose that time here. And then you'll see down below, like if it's open, anyone can sign up for that time still. But then here is all of the families that this teacher would have students in their classes. So this is how you would select a particular family to have a specific conference date and time. I'll leave that at blocked off. The other thing that I think is great about this feature in JMC Teacher is this ability to add in the comments. So if there's something specific that you want to be able to talk to a family about, you can enter that information in here. You can remind them, we're going to be talking about your Q1 report card, please have that handy. It was mailed home, or please check progress reports in JMC Family. Grades are all published at, whatever date. Just alerting families to anything that you want them to know about as they're coming in. So they can put those comments in here, save comments, and then teachers can print out a list. So they'll see all of their appointments for that conference event. And then also this email families, which just reminds all the families of their date and time, but it also then sends those comments, which I think is super helpful. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of setting up those appointments in JMC Teacher, seeing the appointments as they come in, as families sign up on their own, but then that ability to lock students and families into a particular time, or to block off time for yourself. And then the day of the conferences, if your families attend, if you check this parent attend box, it allows for better record keeping of your conference attendance, which is just kind of nice from the office point of view to find out how successful are our parent teacher conferences. So that's it for the teacher side of those teacher conference schedules. Any questions on the teacher part of it?
Nope, there's no questions.
All right. Anything you want to add, Jody?
No, I think you're right, but this is a great way for teachers to be able to be in control of their schedule and not have to, like you said, go back and forth with emails and trying to wonder, those, as teachers know how long some of those conferences can take for certain families, and that just makes that their schedules go better than and not have other families wait.
Exactly. Great. Next, we'll talk about signing up for conference appointments in JMC Family. So we saw setting it up, we saw managing it in the teacher side, and now we'll see how families go about signing up for those conference dates and times. You've got multiple work schedules, lessons, commitments, and special appointments. Keeping track of the whole family can be dizzying. The teacher conference scheduler in JMC Family makes it easy to find the right place in your family's busy schedule for teacher conferences. View available conference times for all your students on one page so that you can select meeting times that fit your family's needs. In the JMC Family Portal, head to the Teacher Conference Scheduler to get started scheduling teacher conferences. So step one, and this is kind of similar to what you saw on the teacher side, you select a date from the conference day drop-down list to see conference times available on that date. Step two, select a time to meet with each teacher using the appointment time drop-down list next to each teacher's name. Fun fact, if a teacher is already scheduled for a time, that time won't appear in the appointment time drop-down list. Step three, repeat these steps for each kiddo in your family to schedule their conferences. Fun fact, return to this page anytime to view or edit conferences you have previously scheduled. And step four, click the print button to print your conference schedule and you're all set. So we'll take a live look at signing up for conference appointments in JMC Family. Here we go. So again, from my home screen in JMC Family, I'm going to come to Teacher Conference Scheduler, and I see all of my students, and I can select the dates. So maybe the 15th works for me, maybe not. Maybe I want to come in on the 17th. You can see I've already scheduled a conference with this teacher, so I don't need to schedule again. But I can come in here, I can pick a day and a time. Here's the piece that I really like. I'm going to select noon on the 17th for this teacher for Francis. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm also going to select the 17th. And I'm going to pick noon with Mrs. Cars, or I'm sorry, Mr. Cars. And I get a pop-up saying this appointment time has the same time as another appointment, and it won't let me double book myself as a parent. So if parents are kind of working through this quickly, don't realize that they're picking the same day and time, it safeguards them from double booking themselves. So they just would repeat that for all of the teachers that they want to meet with in that particular conference event. Again, they can pick any of the dates that are listed under that event and then schedule with any of the teachers that they want to schedule. And you'll also see here that if I look at, let's see, I'm trying to remember what date this teacher might have schedules or conferences scheduled. So you can see here, this 4 to 4:10 is grayed out. It says not available. That means that teacher has an appointment during that time. And again, it won't let a teacher get double booked, just like it won't let families double book themselves. So pretty simple on the parent end. They can come in. If I sign up for a conference today and then I realize it's not going to work in my schedule, I can come back and make those changes as long as that family sharing is still open. Once it's locked, I can't, and I'd have to get a hold of the office to help me make those changes. But as long as the appointment booking window is open, I can come in and make changes so that it works best in my schedule. And that's it for signing up on the family side. Any questions on what families see when they sign up for conferences?
There are no questions.
All right. And we're going to wrap it up here with tracking conference signups and attendance. And again, we got some new features in this part of the teacher conference scheduler that I think you're really going to enjoy. Curious about family involvement in your school's conferences? The Teacher Conference Scheduler report in JMC Office makes it easy to track signups and attendance, see which families have registered or attended, get detailed lists of participants and no-shows, and view percentages by teacher. It's a one-stop tool for measuring engagement and spotting where follow-up might be needed. So head to Teacher Conference Scheduler report in JMC Office to review statistics from your teacher conference event. Step one, select the name of the conference from the conference drop-down list to filter the report by that event. Helpful tip, all dates for a conference event appear together in the drop-down, making it easy to view and manage related information all in one place. Step two, select the appropriate radio button to choose the teacher conference scheduler details you would like to review. So a lot of options up here. So you can look at families who have not signed up. You can look at families who have signed up, families who did not attend. So this is where that parent attend checkbox in JMC Teacher comes in really handy, is that if your teachers are checking that for families that show up, you'll be able to clearly see families that didn't attend as well as families that did attend. And then these two are new. So you've got family schedules. This lists conference appointments by selected family. So this is something that our JMC Office users were asking for, because in the past, teachers could print out that list of their appointments for a day, but there wasn't an easy place in JMC Office to find that. So we've done that here. You can look by a family's schedule, or you can also look at a list of conference appointments by a selected teacher. So a couple different ways for those office users to be able to see appointment time. So if you have a family shows up to conferences that evening and says, hey, I know I've got conferences tonight, I can't remember the time, this helps you to be able to look that up and share that with that family. A helpful tip here, you can click the email families button to send reminders to families who have signed up or to prompt those who haven't registered for conferences yet. So these two radio buttons up here, so families not signed up and families signed up, if you click one of the two of them, you have this option to email families, and it'll either remind them of their scheduled time or it'll remind them to sign up. Emails to families include the event date, the available teachers, and the student's name and grade, plus their sign-up status. So it's an easy way to get that information out to your families. Step 3, click the print button to save a PDF of the teacher conference scheduler report or to print a hard copy of it for reference. So we'll take a live look at those reports that you can run in the teacher conference scheduler. All right, I'm going to head back over to my JMC Office window here. And I'm going to start from my home screen here. I'll come down to Teacher Conference Scheduler, and this time I'm going to click on Report. So I'm going to take a look at families who are signed up for my fall conferences. And you can see I've got a few appointments here. So not a lot yet. You can see my percentage signed up. I'm only sitting at about 2%. So I might need to follow up with families and make sure that they know they need to sign up. So if I saw this and realized I don't have a lot of participation yet, I'd come over here to this families not signed up and I'd send out an email saying, hey, remember to sign up for conferences. They'll see the available dates, times, teachers, and so on. So that is how this reports page works. I'll just maybe take a look at these last two radio buttons since they are new. So again, if you want to see a family's schedule, you select the conference date that you want to see it for, you select the family, and then it pulls up their conference appointments, and you can share that then with your families. All right, so I think that about does it for the teacher conference scheduler report. Do we have any questions?
We have no questions.
All right, anything I'm missing, Jody? Anything else you'd like to add?
Nope. Those new add-ons with those schedules are definitely the good thing that we needed, because a lot of schools were asking for that, because as office people, we know we get the phone calls of, hey, I forgot when my schedule is, or, you know, they stop in the office and say, can you tell me where I'm supposed to go next or whatever. So I know the office staff will definitely appreciate these two new features of these reports.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think I'll double check, but I think that we have kind of gone through all of the material that we had for today. But we'll see. Now that we're at the very end, my computer's gonna, oh, there it goes. There it goes. All right. So, yep, we are at the end. So on behalf of myself and Jody, thank you for attending this webinar, and thank you for choosing JMC.